On Monday, Pope Francis departs for the most ambitious and demanding international trip of his papacy. Over 12 days and 20,000 miles, the Holy Father will travel to 4 countries in Southeast Asia and Oceania. Starting in Jakarta, Indonesia, Pope Francis will preside over Mass at a large football stadium and also lead an interfaith meeting. Indonesia has the world's largest Muslim population. The pontiff will then travel on to Papua New Guinea, East Timor, and conclude the visit in Singapore for the longest trip of his papacy. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, pro-prefect of the Dicastery for Evangelization, helps explain the purpose of this trip, especially in light of the 87-year-old pontiff's physical ailments. The Vatican confirmed on Friday that Cardinal Tagle will be traveling with the Pope during his journey. Quote, "I am younger than the Pope, and these long journeys are heavy even for me." For him, embracing this effort is an act of humility, too. It's not a show to portray what one is still capable of. As a witness, I call it an act of humility before the Lord who calls us, an act of humility and obedience to the mission. To help us better understand the significance of this major papal trip, we are joined here on set by EWTN News Editorial Director, Dr. Matthew Bunson. Thanks for being here. Matthew, first, can you put this trip into context for us? This massive scale, how significant is this travel?
It's an immensely significant trip. This is the 45th international trip of a pontificate that's now, 11 years old. But if we want to find a word to express this, it's microcosm. This trip is a microcosm of some of the major themes of this pontificate. If we start in Indonesia, for example, where Catholics make up about 3% of the population, Pope Francis has been emphasizing for a very long time throughout his pontificate interreligious dialogue, in particular with Islam. We have an Indonesian government that is very focused on trying to maintain religious harmony, so Pope Francis is going to tap into that. When he moves to Papua New Guinea, where Catholics make up about 26% of the population, his theme there is going to be, again, harmony, but he's also going to be looking at some of the ecological issues, as well as the dangers of ideological colonization, of aid being attached to embracing ideas and concepts and things like abortion, contraception, and other things. When he moves then to East Timor, which is the most Catholic country in the world, 98% Catholic, it's, again, his focus on the environment, sustainability, eco-sustainability, and also dealing with economic disparities. Then he moves to Singapore, where you have one of the most rich and diverse cultures anywhere in Asia, anywhere in the world, really, with multiple religions, and there the key word is going to be fraternity.
So, like you said, microcosm, hitting on a lot of themes that we've heard throughout his papacy. And Matthew, we know that our Holy Father has a slew of health issues. He's become more and more reliant on a wheelchair as of late. What kind of message does it send that he's taking this most ambitious trip amid his health problems and his age?
Yeah, the scale of it, to use your word again, is really something we need to focus on. This is the first international trip he's taken in a year. There were serious questions as to whether or not he would even make this trip, and yet here he is. He's making a point. I think there are a couple of them. First, he's still very much committed to the peripheries, to going out, to be this evangelist out in the world. But again, he's focusing on Asia. Asia has been of great importance to him. So he's also making a statement. All eyes are on China, as always, but looking at where the church is growing fastest. In Asia, you have 150 million Catholics. It's still a tiny percent of the population, but if we look at it as a factor of growth in the church, this is one of those key areas for the future of global Catholicism.
That is all such helpful context.